Hey, what's up everyone? In this video, I will teach you how to make a tech house music production in the style of artists and producers like John Summit. By the way, there's also a link for you to download all of the sounds and samples that I've used in this project. I actually put together a sample pack that is available on bandlab.com. So if you're struggling to produce and release your own original EDM and house music, then make sure to head on over to my Instagram. There's a link below in the text description. And so these are all of the basic elements that you would need to be able to put together your own tech house music production. Okay, so before going any further, I'm just going to play my track, what I have so far, and then I'm going to break everything down. Okay, so before you even start producing anything, you want to make sure to assemble all of the sounds that you will possibly need. So in order to do this, you're going to go onto a website called Splice, or if you've already downloaded it, then you should have this app open. And you're going to go and look for tech house samples or tech house packs, because that is the genre of music that we are producing in. From here, you're going to find a tech house pack that you like, and then you're going to download any associated loops or samples or even synth presets here to use within your production. So this means before even getting to the composition, you've already got your loops and synth presets ready, loaded, and ready to go. You always want to create your chorus and your drop first, because it makes it much easier to build out the rest of your track once you have a great sounding chorus or drop. And then you can drag and drop various elements to create build-ups, verses, bridges, and so on. So the first thing that I've done over here is I've composed a simple bass line. It's just a simple riff that outlines a single chord and isn't too fancy or complicated. If you struggle with being able to create your own melodies and chords, then I have a really good suggestion for you. You're going to want to go and check out and use a plugin called Captain Play. Now, what this plugin allows you to do is play chords and melodies using your computer keyboard. So you can select a key signature over here, and you can just use your computer keyboard to trigger notes that are within a scale so that you'll never play a wrong note. Also, while building out the drop, the next thing that I've also focused on is just putting together a very simple drum arrangement. You don't have to overthink this, just a simple 4 on the floor kick pattern with claps on the 2 and the 4. So once you've got a simple bass line together, which is, by the way, the most important part of tech house, especially in the style of John Summit, the next thing that I've gone ahead and done is made it super big and super fat using this plugin called Sausage Fattener. The other thing that I have is also something called Kickstart by Nicky Romero. This is a sidechain plugin, and the bass is sidechained 99% of the time in house and EDM. And if you don't know what it does, then, well, this is what it does. So it gives it that cliche wavy texture that you hear in house music and in EDM. So if you are a new house producer, then I highly recommend that you go out and you get this plugin. It will be very useful for you. Okay, now when it comes to melodies and ear candy, you really don't need super complicated melodies. All I did was help fill in the space here with a single pluck, and then used an arpeggiator on a single note. So it just sounds something like this. Next, this is super cliche, but it works super well in most EDM and house situations. So what I do here is I just take the first note of the bass or the chords, and then I bring it up here, and I create this kind of high string pattern. So I'm pretty sure you've heard this in a lot of classic house records before. So what you want to do here is pick a string patch, put it up super high, and add lots of sidechain and reverb. So next I added some vocals. You don't have to use your own vocals. You can actually just download them from Splice, but I chose to make my own. So this is basically a really stupid ad lib that I recorded, and then I just pitched down the vocal. So this is what it sounds like without any processing.
Jordy and me get low.
Yeah, so it sounds pretty lame without any processing, but once I put all of the processing on, it sounds like this. So the two key components that you really need to focus on here is just bringing down the pitch. You can use any plugin, any vocal plugin to do that. So I have just used Murder Melodies, but you can use something much simpler. And for a bit of texture, I've also added some sidechain. And so here's the build-up. So rather than get caught up in complicated sound design, I'd recommend just using any riser that you hear or like from Splice. And you can really just build your own snare build-up because that's very simple. So all you really need to do here is just create a snare build-up that gets faster as you reach the drop. To add some extra dynamics here, I've also automated a filter cutoff. So I am using DJM filter, but you could also use a stock filter to achieve the same effect. Now, as a final note, I'm just going to look at some of the other little pieces of ear candy that I've added. So you want to make sure that when you're producing tech house that you generally want to keep things kind of sparse. You don't want different melodies and just too much stuff happening. So I'll just briefly walk through these right now. And so together from the build up into the chorus, this is what it sounds like. Let me know in the comments below what you guys find most difficult when it comes to EDM and house music production, and I will gladly answer them. And if you're having trouble releasing and finishing your own original EDM and house music, then make sure to check out my Instagram in the link below.